Hello guys, and welcome to Daily Market Movements. Welcome to another episode of Industry Watch. In today's video we're going to be analysing the NASDAQ 100 and then shortly after that moving over to the S&P 500 price charts. Let's start with the NASDAQ 100. NASDAQ 100 currently in the red pre-market, but this is a good sign. Yesterday we were trading green prior to the market's opening, and we were just met with some very rapid selling as soon as the market opened. Where today it's the vice versa. It's the opposite of that. We are trading in the red going into the open. I think we're about 30 minutes off at the market's opening here in Wall Street. And what I'm really looking for here is signs of a bottom, and I think that this is an area where we could happily see a bottom due to the fact it's offered support on two previous occasions. That of course was the end of December and at the beginning of the month as well. So this area here around 15,600 to 15,500 is an area where we bounced prior to this trading session, and this is an area where I anticipate the bulls to come back in and step back in and to protect the markets. I think if we were to break below 15,500, then I think we would then be met with this uptrend that we've been trading in for some time. It's offered us plenty of support. If I just zoom out of the chart here, it's taken us all the way back to pretty much to September 2020. So it's been a massive area of support. I really do like the NASDAQ 100. Of course, the reason that we've declined over the past couple of trading sessions is due to the fact the 10-year note has been rising rather dramatically. We're just underneath 1.8. It's the highest level it's been in some time, in a few years, and that's because interest rates are expected to be hiked in March. There's a 70% chance, or something, there's a 71% chance on a survey that was reported yesterday that interest rates will be hiked in March, and then followed by a second and a third interest rate hike. But I want to stress to you guys that short-term interest rates are terrible for growth stocks. They're really bad for these high-valued tech stocks, but medium to longer term, so once the news is all settled, this time and maybe a few weeks time, it actually has a very positive effect on companies, and their stock prices do actually perform very well as we go into potentially Q2, Q3 and Q4. So I think that short term it does cause a bit of volatility, but medium to long term it is a benefit. So what I'm looking for is a bounce, and when I mean a bounce, I want a strong session where we finish up high in the green, or if we can just stand our ground. If we continue to drift lower here, perhaps into 15,500, it's good. It means that the volatility has started to calm down, but that to me still hasn't told me that we found a bottom. What I'm really looking for is a strong day here where we can finish very high. This is something that we saw a few weeks ago. We had that massive gaining day, and that to me was the indication that we have bottomed here in the market. And one thing I want to stress as well, don't pay too much attention to the 50-day EMA in the NASDAQ 100 here. We've had a daily close below, which typically would indicate a price moving down towards the 200-day EMA. But one thing that I will say is that the NASDAQ 100 doesn't respect the 50-day EMA as much as other assets. You can see on the two previous occasions when we tested 15,500, we actually briefly dipped and closed below the 50-day EMA. But in a few trading sessions later, we actually rose straight back above it. So I really do like the NASDAQ 100. I think this offers fantastic value, and if you were to trade it back towards its all-time highs from current levels, that represents a 6.93% gain. So we've pretty much fallen near around 5.5% here for the NASDAQ 100 since we've achieved those highs. Moving over to the S&P 500. S&P 500, very similar to the NASDAQ 100. It had a shocker of a day yesterday, and that's because the Fed come out and announced that they will be accelerating their tapering process and then eventually rising interest rates once that tapering process comes to an end. So understandably, S&P 500 had sold off along with the NASDAQ 100. It had held its ground rather well prior to that, but this is an area where I start to get interested. If we can dip a little bit lower, perhaps down towards a 50-day EMA, that's where I see a potential trade opportunity. This is where you can potentially be buying the 50-day EMA with your stop loss down there, and you take profit back up at all-time highs, and all of a sudden you've almost got a 2-for-1 risk-reward ratio there, where you're risking 1.98% to gain 3.34%. So just shy of that 2-for-1 risk-reward ratio, but you want to be looking at that 50-day EMA for support. But again, just like the NASDAQ 100, we don't always respect that 50-day EMA here for the indices. We have been known to close below them And I wouldn't really be surprised if we went and traded down towards 4,600 here for the S&P 500, as we haven't even made contact with that 50-day EMA, and on those two previous occasions we did in fact go below it. So there's definitely fantastic money-making opportunities on the horizon here for the indices. That's been the NASDAQ100 and the S&P 500. You just got to pick your time very correctly, and that's something that we're looking to do over on our private Signal group chat, which I definitely recommend that you join, especially if you're new to trading and you just need a little bit of help and guidance. And that is going to wrap it up for today's video. But just before I let you leave, I just want to quickly show you our brand new streaming service. We've recently launched this website that you can see in front of you. This is where we provide in-depth analysis videos as well as trading signals via our Telegram group chat. How it works is really simple. We have two subscription plans. First one is a monthly fee of $19.99, and the second plan is only $209.99 for a year's subscription. Once subscribed, you'll then have access to all of our in-depth analysis videos, as well as access to our private Telegram group chat. We cover various markets such as commodities, US stocks, indices, and cryptocurrencies. We also have a video category where we provide educational content so that you can improve your trading skills. If this sounds appealing to you, then you can find our website link in the description of this YouTube video at dailymarketmovements.com. If not, then I would just like to take this time to say thank you for watching today's YouTube video. Please give my channel a subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you again soon.